Everybody, good morning. Good morning to one and all, and welcome to Facebook Ads Masterclass. My name is Glenn. I'm your host as well as the co-presenter of this webinar. It's going to be 1.5 hours, 90 minutes, full value, as well as hopefully we get some interaction later on towards the end. Q&A, so I'm really glad that you guys made it even on a lazy Saturday morning. We're going to expect more people tuning in, so what we're going to do right now is to just dive right in to find out who you guys are. Okay, tell us a bit about yourself. So can you guys get ready with your reaction button or your chat box, the chat box. Get ready to type into the chat box a number that is related to the type of person or what you're doing today. So type in number one if you're a business owner, you run a business and you require marketing for your business, number one. Number two, if you're independent professional or freelancer, your associate, could be a coach, a trainer, but you're a solopreneur. Okay, type in number two. And number three, if you're in between jobs, you're taking a break right now, you are recalibrating and finding out what is your next stint. Or number four, you're not working currently because you're a student, for example, or stay-home parent. So number four, for those of you who are not working, and others, number five. Can you just type into the chat box like very quickly right now? Okay, so a couple of you, 1, 2, 3, yep, a mix. Okay, if you're driving right now, you shouldn't even be typing. Yep, please focus on the road. Yeah, cool. So 4, yep, 2, quite a lot of you, 2, that's good. Okay, next one, get ready. Yep. In terms of Facebook marketing or Facebook advertising, number one, type in number one. If you have been running Facebook ads quite often, you're pretty familiar with the whole system. So type in number one. Number two, you are somewhat familiar. You dabbled a little bit in it. Maybe you click on a couple of buttons to try it out. You're somewhat familiar. Type in number two. And type in three if you're totally new to Facebook ads or Facebook marketing, and four for others. Okay, let's go. So once again, one is if you run Facebook ads, you're very familiar, you're probably a guru at this. Yep. Aslan, you number one. Wow, you guru. Very good. Yeah, the rest of you, okay, not sure. Three. Four others. Okay. Two. Okay, Jiamin, I saw two. Okay, not bad. You somewhat familiar. Majority of you three. Okay, you're in the right place today. So once again, my name is Glenn, and I'm the co-founder of 𝗙𝗘𝗥, which is a PR as well as a digital marketing agency. Here, I call myself the chief guerrilla marketing strategist because I employ quite a lot of neuroscience background in terms of consumer behavior. So that's my main work. My chief work is in copywriting and persuasive writing for advertisements for marketing purposes. And I'm so glad today that I have with me a guest. He's actually a partner with us today, and his name is Jason Gunn. Jason actually needs no introduction for those of us who are in the Facebook world. And he doesn't just do Facebook, the whole plot, the whole menu, suite of digital marketing services. He's been doing it for over 10 years. Right now under 𝗙𝗏 Academy, he is teaching. So I would regard him as a teacher, a trainer's trainer, and also a guru in Southeast Asia. He's a master digital marketing trainer, and in a way, he's also our mentor at 𝗙𝗏𝗥, because 𝗙𝗏𝗥 only just started like last year during the pandemic. We have tripled our leads and also corresponding sales. Jason has been very key this year, especially in helping advise our campaign metrics, the way we need to shut down certain ads, and then we look at how we posture ourselves. And I can tell you, if you, most of you might agree with me, if you've been playing with Facebook ads, the things have been changing, right? Algorithms, policies have been changing. And those of you who have already started, you will also understand, wow, how come the verification process is so long? What are they looking at? How come they're overly suspicious, thinking that we are robots or AI or whatever like that? And a lot of accounts has been disabled. That's terrible, right? You set up an ad, you really run a campaign, and then they shut you down just like that. So Jason is here to spill the beans to share with us what are some of these trending issues, how do we overcome them, and the pitfalls to avoid. And this is great for starters, but those of you who are already very familiar, you've been running your own ads, is a good refresher as well, because the trends are always needing to be updated. Okay, so help me please right now to welcome our master trainer, and I call him a Sifu as well, digital marketing expert, Mr. 𝗙𝗟𝗏𝗀. So can you just type into the digital, send a digital applause or wave like that?
Thank you.
Over to you.
Thanks, Glenn. Thanks for having me here. Thanks everyone for joining us this morning. Like seriously, I hardly do Saturday morning thing, but like, all right. I mean, me is fine, and you guys are supposed to spend time with your loved ones and all that, and you're actually doing it here. Thank you so much for joining us. Okay, thanks Glenn for introducing me in that way. Actually, kind of like, anyway, a bit of what I do is Facebook advertising is really my, like the center of what I do since 2010. I actually started as an agency, and eventually, one way or another, we kind of like pivoted into the training and coaching, which was, in a way, stumble upon it, and I really like what I actually get from training and coaching. It's really about an aha moment that I'm able to create, versus if I do it for my clients, that's another story. So today, I'm gonna dive right in, okay? And I'm just gonna go real quick about what's gonna be covered today. Basically, as you can see here, is really for beginners, okay? But if you have dabbled, like what Glenn mentioned, if you have tried Facebook advertising, and I have not done it for a while, and this is actually a good place for you, because this is where we talk about a lot of interesting things, like being disabled, all those nonsense. I'm going to share with you some tricks, as in like some hacks on how can you do a few things. Like I always say that there are three main pillars of effective Facebook advertising. So what are the three main pillars? How can you excel, or so-called hack your way through to do better in these three main pillars? And of course, towards the end of it, I'm going to share with you a proven Facebook advertising framework that I've been using. Not I've been using, my thousands of students around the world have been using. So yeah, I'm lazy to go into it. So I'm just going to like, immediately, I don't need to play the slide. I'm just going to go like, who's Jason? Like, who the hell is this guy? Like Glenn mentioned, right? Basically, I actually started Facebook advertising since 2010. Throughout the years, I worked with, a few hundred of, I think 200-300 of brands. Not a lot, but some of the brands are actually big spenders. And yesterday we just spoke to one of a major brand in fashion industry that we're gonna kind of like build their so-called new retail team. It's a very interesting experience for me as well. So like I mentioned, I actually started training in 2016 because at one point when you run an agency, right, you feel burnout. Like, I don't know how many of you have kind of like built a business like that, an agency. It's fun, and it's really a great learning. But then again, come to a point I wanted to do things differently. And I was given an opportunity to train in 2016. And since then, I've trained over 6,000 people from actually 40 over countries now. So a bit of credibility if you are, like familiar with the meta planning professional and meta buying, media buying professional. So these are official certifications by Meta. Still a bit not used to calling it Meta, but anyway, so it's Meta now, consists of Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, and all these like a suite of businesses that they have. So I've been certified since 2017, okay? And basically, I'm also a Meta business partner. So what the hell is Meta business partner? So basically, I'm just going to take you into my business suite. So as a partner, so this is our partner center. And this is where we show our, like, if there's any issues, any recommendations. And as a partner, basically, we actually get, firsthand insights from Facebook, although not much. Okay, some people will say, wow, partner, you get a lot of shit from them, right? Actually, no. All right, they get, they give you some information update and all that, but yeah, I mean, it's all about learning anyway. So if you guys are into learning, then you actually can do that. So in order to be a partner, you need to at least manage $5,000 in the last 6 months, and you need to apply for it. So this is the amount, if you look at it, that I oversee. I no longer manage campaign. I'm only coaching businesses right now. So this is the amount of ad spend that my clients spend in the last 180 days. So if you actually mouse over to this, it's about 180 days, like data. So the reason I bring this up is not to brag, though it's a bragging, right? But I guess it's about sharing, giving you the idea about what kind of information that you'll be learning, because we are not those businesses that probably just started and spend a few $100 on Facebook ads and calling ourselves a so-called a coach or strategies. But what we go through day in, day out is really a huge amount of spend like this. And the way we need to strategize and optimize and, like really dive into the metrics, like what Glenn mentioned just now, is totally different. So that's a bit about me. So yeah, I mean, then we're going to dive right into what we are supposed to talk about today, which is how to start Facebook ads the right way. In fact, really now, especially now, it's a very interesting time where you have to really go through this part, because you don't want to start the wrong way where you will get a lot of issues like account ban, account restrictions, all those nonsense. It's really annoying. Like, in fact, right, I'm actually getting at least 2 to 3 inquiries from all around the world. Now these people are paying me money to actually spend 30 minutes with me for me to go through their situations, what's happening to them, and what can they do next. I don't know why Facebook is doing this. It's actually killing their business. But then again, this is what we are actually going through right now. It's a very crazy time. So if you plan to start Facebook advertising, it's the best time. I want to actually say this again. It's the best time. You know why? A lot of people gave up. A lot of people were shut down by Facebook because you can't do this anymore. I can't do this anymore. And I give up. And hey, you know what? Actually, in the past 2 to 3 months, we have been observing drop in CPM, as in like the cost, advertising cost was dropping in a lot of countries. And so that's why this is a good time. When the cost is dropping, of course, you can actually reach more people with the amount that you spend. So that's a good thing for us. Anyway, so I'm just going to go through some do's about what you should do when you want to start advertising on Meta or Facebook per se. So first thing first, I really want you to start with a Meta Business Manager. Now, this is where we get a little bit of technical over here. Why? Because, okay, now Meta Business Manager is a place for you to manage your so-called Meta assets across multiple verticals and even your team in it. And it's not Business Suite. This is where things get confusing. Now, let me actually walk you through. So basically, all you do here is you go to business.facebook.com. I'm actually typing in business.facebook.com. Now, when you go to business.facebook.com, okay, in fact, what you see or what you're about to see is actually a Meta, it's supposed to go into the Meta Business Suite. So this is a Meta Business Manager. But most people will be seeing like a Meta Business Suite. Let me switch back to mine. Okay. And so what's going to happen? So this is the Meta Business Manager. But most people, if you come in here, you'll be seeing Meta Business Suite. So Meta Business Suite and Meta Business Manager are two different things. Okay, if you see something like you go in, you can see comments and all those stuff, right? So that's where you can actually, that's where you manage. So I'm actually quickly go into the Meta Business Suite just to let you see the difference. Okay, so Meta Business Suite, I just want to quickly establish the difference between Meta Business Suite and Meta Business Manager. Now, Meta Business Suite is a place where you manage conversations, as in like, the messages that you come in across the platform on Instagram, on Facebook. And this is where you also plan your posts and stuff like that. So as you can see, this is my messages coming in, and this is the tasks or comments coming in. So this is where you manage. And of course, there is a place for you to actually start writing ads, but this is not the full-fledged ads manager. This is what we call the ad sender. You can actually click and do it, and you say that it's ad sender. And yeah, you can start running ads over here, but you may not get access to the full suite of the features available in Facebook advertising. That's why some people find it really confusing. So where should I start? Okay, very simple. If you have this Meta Business Suite, okay, all you do here is you go down to the bottom and click on settings. All right, and then just go for this thing. So settings, you go for more business settings. You guys write down, yeah? I'm not gonna like slow down. So when you go for more business settings, it will bring you to your, this is the Meta Business Manager, where you will be able to have your people here, partners here, you know, and you can actually have multiple pages here. So multiple, I seriously have no idea how many pages I'm accessing right now. And I actually did calculate it. I'm accessing to 80 over 80, yeah, ads account over here. So this is where you can have a lot of things in it, and this is where you manage a lot of things. So I don't want to go deep into the business manager part, but this is where you want to start. Why? Because this is where Meta recognize you as a business, as in like, they will think that, okay, now, because if you want to go further to establish yourself, right, you can actually go in and verify your Meta Business Manager. Okay, this is a verified, as you can see, this verified thing. So if you're verified, then they recognize you as a business. So why do you want to do all this, go through all these hustles? First thing first, when you get into trouble, as in like your ads account got disabled and all those things, right? You have better support. And the second thing is you are able to build finally a so-called credibility, start building a credibility with Facebook and say that, hey, I'm a legit business. And, you know, so this is where they recognize you as a legit business and they will give you different kind of support when things happen. Okay, so that's the first thing you want to do. Go for Meta Business Manager. And then the second thing, this is really important. Some people still have that kind of practice where, oh, I want to start Facebook advertising. Let's create a new Facebook profile, shared across the team. And I'm going to do this together. Everybody log in from that device and log out when you don't want to, you know, that's a no-no. Okay, first thing first, do not ever start a new profile to do anything business related on Facebook right now. I can give you 100% guarantee that the moment you start advertising, you'll be back, you'll be banned, you'll be blocked. The whole account probably you won't be able to get it back because first thing first, Facebook hates new accounts right now. I have no idea. Everybody is trying to grow their user base, but Facebook is actually throwing people away. But yeah, that's what's happening. If you start a new profile, they will hate you. Immediately you will be flagged, and unless you can actually really pull through all the verification process, which can be quite long and daunting and confusing. I don't want you to actually go through that. So you start with your own existing profile. You know, like the one that you've been using to post your food, you know, your vacation pictures and all those stuff. And when you comment, this is the one that you want to start, because the moment you build a Facebook page and you create a Facebook ad account, nobody's going to know who is behind it. So don't worry about that. All right. Some people say, I don't want to know. I mean, I don't want people to know. Nobody will know. So whenever you're running all these business activities on Facebook, you are doing it as a business entity. So nobody will know who's behind it. All right. And of course, this is a very simple thing, but still people try to sell things that are not allowed. But actually, like, especially now, as we're doing this now, you don't do anything that Facebook do not allow. That's it. So you can actually copy this link, facebook.com/policy/center/ads, or you can actually go to Google for Facebook ads policies. And there'll be a whole list of things that you can read through about things that you can or can't do. Make sure you don't do things that you can't do. All right. So yeah, so basically that's the do's. And as you probably do what I mentioned over here and you start Facebook advertising, I can guarantee you one more thing, that you will be disabled almost right away. All right. You will be disabled. Your ad account will be disabled. You'll be flagged and all that. And you'll be like, what the hell? I did everything Jason said and I still get flagged and get disabled. What are you talking about? You know why is this happening? Let me tell you why. Facebook wants to make sure everybody who actually run business on Facebook are real human. All right. They're actually trying to fight bots. It's a very crazy thing to do, but it's necessary. So what they are trying to do here is, when you get disabled, I'm just going to tell you a few things. You will get disabled anyway, but what do you do? First thing first, don't panic. All right. There's no point panicking, because panicking also, like, seriously, some people get really panicked and they get really angry. And you know what? On my YouTube channel, all the videos that I talk about account disabled, account banned and all that, I have at least 70 to 70 to 80% negative comments. They come in, oh, I don't get anything, it doesn't solve my problem. You know, they give you thumbs down and all that because they are panicked and they're angry. But here's the thing, every single time you get disabled, in fact, every case is actually kind of different in their own way. I will not be able to provide answers to all of them. But then again, let me tell you the things that you do. What they want from you is for you to verify that you're a real human. So just follow the steps and you'll be led to a point where they want you to submit your ID. It's either your identity card or your what do we call the driving license or passport. Okay, submit only things in English. It will accelerate the process, right? I have met a few people coming from like, I don't know, like Spain, Honduras, even China, I don't know, Taiwan, actually, because the documents are in foreign language, it actually prolongs the whole process. Okay, so make sure you submit. I mean, I'm very sure that the passport is in English, whatever language you are in right now. All right, so yeah, and then wait and follow up. It might take longer. Last time, maximum it's about like 48 hours to get things done, but now probably a little bit longer. And you just have to make sure that you keep following up with them. Okay, so that's what you do when you get disabled. Don't get panicked. And yeah, like yesterday, I just received one inquiry, came back to me and said, hey, because I do have a paid service where you can actually pay me for me to look at your situation to give you advice. This guy came in and said, you know, I want to pay you, but can you guarantee? No, I can't. Why? Because I say every single situation is unique. What I would do is I will help you navigate the water for you. But then again, all you need to do is really to follow up, all right, and wait for it. It will happen. Good things are worth waiting. I mean, yeah, I'm not sure that works. Anyway, so that's about disability. That's about when you get banned. And then we dive right in and talk about what's a Facebook ads. Now, basically, when you browse Facebook and Instagram, you'll be seeing posters like this, whereby, you know, like this is, I mean, like yesterday I received another question from one of my students the other day. She was asking, how does a Facebook ads looks like? In fact, every Facebook ads or Instagram ads are just like another post in your feed. This is where they appear in your feed. So this is Facebook. So as you can see, when you see like the word sponsor below the name, okay, and everything that carries a button over here, these are advertisements. Okay, so when you are creating an advertisement, there will be a place for you to fill your picture or your video. And then after that, this is where you do your copywriting. On Instagram is at the bottom. So as you can see, right, they actually truncate after 2 lines. So some people ask me, should I write long or short copy? I mean, I have no right answer for that. But then again, here's the thing. When you are only being shown, only 2 lines being shown, do you think you're like, I mean, you are going to click on the see more and read further? So that's a food for thought, okay? And eventually when it comes to Instagram, even worse. It's image first, then the text later. When was the last time you really scroll down and read an advertisement's text on Instagram? People hardly do that. That's why that signifies the importance of your creative, as in like your video or your image, because that's the first thing that captures people's attention, then only followed by your copy. So yeah, so if there is any suggestion, so work on your, you know, like image or your creative first, we call that. Yeah, because that's the first thing that will capture attention. So yep, so that's an advertisement. So how do we start Facebook advertising? Okay, so like first thing first, I wanted to say it's supposed to be like first thing first, we use an ads manager. So this is where things get confusing a little bit, because there are a few ways for you to start advertising. Like we mentioned just now, there is this, if you go to Facebook, if you post anything, you know, if you are on your page, right, you can click on the boost button, and that's a way to start advertising, right? So yeah, I'm just gonna go into my Facebook page real quick. Okay, so yeah, when you can click on this promote button to start advertising. That's a way to start. Okay, and yeah, they give you this button twice over here at the bottom as well. Oh yeah, another thing, use desktop to run ads or your laptop to run ads. Okay, yes, you can start running ads with your mobile and everything is actually very easy. But then again, the full experience is still on Facebook. I mean, sorry, on the desktop version. All right. So yeah, you're supposed, this is also another way to start ads, boosting a post. But that's not where we want to start, And of course, when you're in the Meta Business Center, you also have this like, the ads button that will bring you to the ad center to start. That's also not the place. I want you to go into your business manager. All right, this is your business manager. Sorry, I opened too many things here. And then, yeah, this is a business ad account. So in your business manager, you go to under your ad account and you'll be able to see your ad accounts and all that. And then only you go into your ads manager that looks like this. Sorry, a bit of, like, I hope it's not too confusing for you, but then again, this is where you are supposed to see. This is where you're supposed to start. This is the ads manager. Okay, a quick introduction to ads manager if you're not familiar. Even those who have been advertising on Facebook will come back and tell me that I don't get this thing. It's so confusing. It's like a maze. I don't know what to do with it. There are so many features, but this is what you need to learn. This is what you need to master, because this is everything that has got to do with your advertising success. You need to start with this one. So eventually there are three actually main elements when it comes to a Facebook ads account like this. First, inside there is this campaign layer, and we have the ad set layer and the ad layer. So there are three layers for each campaign. So basically, there are different things in there, but let me explain to you using this one. So this is the campaign structure. All right. So first thing first, campaign layer or the campaign level is where we choose the objective. Now, the objective is very important because this is what you are telling Facebook about what you want to achieve with Facebook ads. So like later, I'll walk you through a little bit when we get to the point where, because when you're starting when you start advertising on Facebook, Facebook is actually asking you, what do you want to achieve? So choosing the wrong objective, okay, is gonna, it's gonna jeopardize the entire campaign performance from the very beginning. So it's very important for you to choose the right objective. Like for example, if you want to get people to visit your website, don't start with a boost post. Because when you select boost post, you are sending the message to Facebook saying that, hey, I want to get people to comment. I want to get people to like, but those who like and comment may not be clicking and go to your website. So you got to be very specific about what you want to achieve with your ads. Then Facebook will find you the right people. So one objective at a time. So this is where you decide what you want to achieve. All right. So under each campaign, you can actually create multiple ad sets. But how do we define ad sets? Ad sets are, this is an ad set, right? Ad sets are, the layer where you define what you want to control. Like over here, I'm giving you the example where I can actually have an ad set targeting female, the other targeting male. Okay, I can actually do like one ad set targeting the, one specific location, the other one targeting different location. One targeting 18 to 24, the other one targeting 25 to 34, stuff like that. And this is where you can control your budget distribution as well. Like I want to spend 70% of the budget on female and 30% on male. So this is how you separate. This is how you define the variables that you want to control in your campaign. All right. And yeah, do not complicate things. Like one thing I do not want you to do, unless you're spending about like $100 to $200 a day running ads, do not try to do like those. This is really me. I've been, observing and trying different things. There are still people who say that, hey, you got to set one ad set for each interest. Like some people will say one for digital marketing, the other one for email marketing, the other one for Facebook advertising, the other one for social media marketing. Do one ad set for each and spend money and see which one works better. And that's why I say you can do this unless you spend big, because if you are not giving enough budget for each of these ad set to learn, you will not get the so-called what do we call the significant outcome that differentiates which ad set or so-called which interest works better for you. And to be frank, right, like what I mentioned just now, Facebook advertising, digital marketing, email marketing, social media marketing, I could be liking all these 4 interests. I could be into these 4 interests. But when you have 4 ad sets targeting, different interests. If you do not know how to do exclusion, I'll be seeing your ads, in 4 ad sets. So you will have this overreach issue. I mean, that's a bit technical, but then again, you want to avoid going into that trap unless you spend big. When you spend big, then you have to actually plan strategize your campaign in a different way. But if you do not spend more than $100 a day, when I say dollars means US dollars, you try to control your campaign in a more meaningful way in this way. So control only things that you want to control. Don't play with interest, because these are vague things, but things that are solid, like gender will not lie, like the location will not go wrong, and the age will not go wrong. So this is where you control. And under each ad set, you can have multiple ads, right? And yeah, you can add one, one video, add 2 is an image and stuff like that. Pretty fine, but I will also suggest that we do not have more than 3 ad sets, 3 ads under each ad set. Because here's the thing, when you have 2 ads under each ad set, let's say you spend $10 over here, okay? Each of these ads will not get even distribution, like $5 each every day. No, Facebook do not actually so-called segregate for you that way. So what they will do is they will actually spend more on the one that they believe that can get you more results, which may not be 100% true, So that's why, yeah, when you do this, what you're trying to do here is you're actually trying to give your audience a little bit of multiple ads, so that they won't feel so, easily get into fatigue with you. But then again, you don't want to overdo this thing. That's why a lot of times when it comes to Facebook advertising problems or so-called challenges, in fact, it's actually caused by overdoing. So you want to simplify your thought, your process and stuff like that. So that's what we do, right? So this is about the campaign structure. It's actually not very complicated, although the moment you look at this, it's like, holy, this is, I'm not going into the metrics. This is really the higher level thing. But yeah, the next thing after starting advertising, you really need to learn how to read all these numbers, This is what I love to do the most, as in I like to look at numbers and see the performance of the campaign, but this is where a lot of people are kind of lacking. But we don't go into that today. We talk about how to start right today. So yeah, so that's the campaign structure. And then I just want to quickly go through another thing that I want to share with you, which is about what makes a good Facebook ads campaign. You see, a good Facebook ads campaign, in my opinion, consists of 3 main pillars. Okay, which is it has to be able to send the right message, which is over here, the right message to the right people, okay, to get them to take the right action. So it has to be able to send the right message to the right people to get them to take the right action. So this is very important. So when it comes to these 3 main pillars, the right message being the creative, the right people being the audience targeting, and the right action being the objective. Right, so let's start with the first one. How many of you have this question? I don't know how to find the right audience. You see, I would say 100 advertisers that I talk to, 98 of them would say that, Jason, what's the better way to, target my audience? In fact, there is no right answer to that. But then again, what I want to do here today is to give you some guidance about how you can actually navigate or so-called find answers or ideas for this question. So the first thing when it comes to the right people that I want to talk about here is I'm going to give you 2 ways to find your best target audience. Okay, the first way is what we call the audience insights. Now, what is an audience insights? In your business manager, in fact, it's the same thing. So in your ads manager, you can click on this hamburger. This is a hamburger, right? You have a piece of bread and the patty in the middle and the bread as well. So click on this, the hamburger, go all the way down and you have this thing called audience insights over here. Okay, just to make sure that it's not blocked by anything. So audience insights, I'm going to right click and open a new tab. When you go into audience insights, this is where you can actually kind of learn about your audience before you commit into anything. So let's say, click on this filter and you can actually change the location. Maybe I go by Singapore. Okay, Singapore as a country. And, in Singapore itself, they're actually showing age 18 and above. So legally, you can only advertise to people who are 18 and above. Yeah, in Thailand it's 21 and above. So anyway, generally, this is the information that Facebook is giving us, that there are about 4.3 to 5.1 million Facebook users in Singapore, the country. All right, so that gives you a bit of information, and out of which most of them are 25 to 34 and 35 to 44, followed by 45 to 54. So you are right that Facebook and Instagram, when we talk about this, right, combined, they are really lacking among this group, 18 to 24, the younger generation, even the younger ones, the kids, they are not really using Facebook much. But things might change moving forward. But then again, that's another topic to discuss anyway. But the bigger group here is 25 to 34 and 35 to 44. And what are these people? These are people who buys. Okay. So this is really the right people for most of the businesses out there. So especially if you run any business, adult business, maybe, like, this is really where, the buying power is, and you want to pay attention. So you can actually see a little bit more information, like the top pages that are liked among these people is like CNA, Straits Times, and your president, the airport, and stuff like that. So these are basic information. And of course, you can further refine, and then you can go down by interest. For example, I would be interested to look at, digital marketing. Okay. So among Singaporeans who are into digital marketing, it's about 1.3 million, 1.1 to 1.3 million, which is good size for me. And of course, if you want to refine further now, here's the trick when you're actually adding in more. Let's say I go for social media marketing. Okay. And it gets more. Okay. And if I add in more like email marketing, okay, and the audience size usually gets bigger and bigger. So here's what you should understand and you should learn about this here is the more you're adding, the bigger the audience size gets. So if you add in like 20 of them, okay, and I probably would say might as well you target everyone. So sometimes don't get too carried away with this so-called interest or detailed targeting. Okay, when you're doing this, go in and understand what does that mean. Like, for example, let me give you another example, right? Now, for those who are maybe let's say, for example, let's say wedding planners and wedding photographers. I mean, whenever they come back, they will tell me, oh, you know what? I need to target those who like, wedding photographer pages, wedding planner pages, wedding related pages, and all that. Now, here's the thing. I mean, when you want to get married, definitely you will like all these pages because you're actually doing research. Okay, now, let me ask you this question. After you get married, do you unlike those pages? Or so-called you really spend time to go in, oh, I've already gotten married. Let me unlike this wedding photographer. Let me unlike this whoever. You don't do that. So technically, you are still liking those. So for those people who do not know how to play this thing well, you're targeting everybody who actually like all these things. So eventually, you are potentially wasting your budget on those who are actually no longer relevant to your business. So you got to be very, very careful about this thing. Now, another example that I have is, many years ago when everything was just got started, and I got started with my career back then. I remember I worked with a developer where I went to a meeting and the manager came to me and said that, Jason, I know what I want to target. I know, right? Facebook ads, damn powerful with all this. So my property, very expensive. So you help me target people who like Maserati, Ferrari, Porsche, these people who like these are likely my customer, because, we are luxury. We want to target only those who are, able to afford. Then I looked at him and said, sir, I mean, he's a sir. I was young. All due respect, I mean, just want to actually give you another scenario to look at this thing. I like Ferrari and Porsche because I like the car. I like the design. But does that make me a person who can afford it just by liking the page? So food for thought. Okay, liking the page doesn't mean that they are at that level. So you got to be very careful about choosing this. So the way you relate, you see, liking is very easy. When it say like and all, let's say what makes you fall into the interest, like, and to give you a little bit more things over here, which is as long as you consume content about digital marketing, Facebook categorizes you into that. If you read articles about digital marketing, if you read articles about email marketing, yes, Facebook knows what you read. because every website over the internet are installed with Facebook Pixel, which all this information will be sent back to Facebook. So they know, right? So this is how they categorize you. So you have to try to think deeper when you're actually doing all this. Yeah, so this is how you plan your audience. All right, so yeah, that's audience. And once you're actually happy with this audience, you can actually, you know, like just create audience and start running ads with it. So that's one way to understand, let's say, your audience size, the demographic distribution, the gender distribution, you know, and stuff like that. So this is how you use audience insights. All right, now the next one is we learn from our competitors. So how do we do that? You see, very simple. Go to your Facebook feed. Now this is a Facebook feed, right? So just browse and see some ads. I want to see some new ads. Okay, now this one, I have no idea why am I seeing this guy. So let's say if you see an ad, this is an ad, yeah? So if you see an ad, you click on the three dots. Wait, this is where you do that, but an ad on the main feed over here, you can also click on the three dots. Works also on mobile. Click on the three dots and you can actually scroll down and see why am I seeing this, right? So if I click into this, and for this one, they are actually, yeah, this is Create Studio. Create Studio is running ads targeting people who are interested in social media marketing, video production, makes sense, right? So yeah, so this is how you learn from your competitors possibly about how to, you know, what to put in, right, in the detailed targeting. So that's the trick. And of course, we can actually look at the other one. And this is another ad. So now what does that mean? Do not have any detailed targeting. They're only targeting language, gender, and location. So this is what? This is the broad, super broad targeting campaign. So this guy must be rich. They can spend like this. Yeah, when you go broad means you are potentially reaching everybody. So that's how it works. So yeah, so that's how you learn from your competitors about, you know, how to actually learn from them on how they do their audience targeting. Okay, then, you know, for those who have this question, like, I don't know how to do it, you know, like, I don't know how to do design. I have got no design sense. I'm not creative. I have no idea. I don't know what to do. You know, I like this. Somebody said it long time ago as a, you know, like, it's an old saying that great marketers steal or copy, you know, either way. But this is the best way to pay compliment to our competitors, right? So the right message part, there are a few things. The same thing, I'm going to give you two ways to draw design inspiration. Now, the first thing is called the Facebook ads inspiration, right? Okay, so what is the Facebook ads inspiration? There's really such thing as Facebook ads inspiration. You go to Google, Facebook ads inspiration. See that? Facebook ads inspiration, and it will bring you to, you know, don't disregard the advertisements and go for this. Facebook ads inspiration, resources for creative ad examples. Go in, that's where they do that. Okay, so yes, so this is where Facebook showcase the so-called, you know, like highly performing advertisements by, you know, like brands. Okay, so this is where you can actually see different ads. So for example, you can actually go in and see this guy. So this is an Instagram ad, obviously. Oh, this is a story ad. So that's how they do it. All right. So what do you learn? You know, like fast pace and words. And words. You gotta have words. People don't understand. People don't listen to you. Yeah, remember. So this is how you can actually create ads in one way. So just to give you some design inspiration, you can click on this and say, oh, what is that? Okay. So all right. Words. As you can see, if you do videos, remember words are important. Then yeah, you can actually just keep browsing, and there are more. You can actually load more and see a lot more of them. So this is Facebook ads inspiration. So from time to time, they will change. They'll give you new ones. It's a free tool anyway, so go for it. All right. So the second way is same thing. We're gonna learn from our competitors. Where's my Facebook? Over here. Okay. We're gonna learn from our competitors. Okay. So how do we do that? Now go to their page. I'm going to take you into their page right now, right? Anyone who are your competitors, go to their Facebook page like this, all right? Scroll down. On the left-hand side, you will see this thing called page transparency. See that? click see all, and you'll be able to see this thing like, and then it will say, this page is currently running ads, and there's this button called go to ad library. Click on it, and it will take you to the ad library where they showcase all the advertisements that they are running actively. So wait for it to load, right? So yeah, as you can see, single image, a lot of single image and one video. It's mainly, yeah, there are more videos at the bottom, and you can actually go in and see how is it done. So this is, like a talking head, and this is an animated thing. Yeah, so you can go in and see how they do it, and you can also see how they write their copy. You see, this is the right way to do that. First two line, as some extra tip. Don't start telling your grandmother's story. The first two line is the only thing most people would see. So the first two line has to be about two things. What is in for me? What do you want me to do? What is in for me? What do you want me to do? That's it. You have whatever stories at the bottom, go at the bottom, but most people won't read. So this is how they write it, and this is the right way. First two lines matters a lot. Okay, so don't get digressed by looking at, oh, I need to write the whole damn story. Nobody reads. Remember, another thing about creative is this, we do not sell on the ad level. If you agree with me, we do not sell using our ads. We attract people with the ad. Where do we sell? On your landing page, on your e-store, your e-commerce website, or bring them in as a lead, call them up, talk to them, then only you close the sale. But too many people try to sell over the advertisement, which you're just going to put people off. Remember, the ad serves as a bait. So what makes a good bait for your business? Go figure. Okay, so that's, yeah, so it's a bit of ways to draw design inspirations. All right, so just going to go for that. So learn from competitors. That's the second thing. Now, then we go back to the third pillar, which is the right action. So when it comes to the right action, basically, when you are when you're creating a new campaign on, in the Facebook Ads Manager, you will see this thing. This is where you choose. This is where Facebook asks you, what do you want to achieve? So you will be choosing from one of which, but you got to really understand this carefully. Like when it comes to awareness, meaning you're trying to distribute a message, or you're actually trying to make an announcement about something. But if you want to get traffic, like you want to get people to go to your website, then you should start with traffic, or sales maybe. And they have this thing like engagement, leads, and all that. So I think what's really important about making decision with this thing is you got to really understand where do you go, how do you, like the entire customer journey, what's the next most important action you want your audience to take for your business, right? So like if you're running an e-commerce store, of course, you want traffic. You want people, because that's how things start. Okay, people only start buying when they land on your website. Everything starts from there. If they don't go to your website, well, how do you sell? I mean, that also can actually, you can also consider using sales, which is the higher level thing where you can actually go for conversions and stuff like that. But if you are like a coach, so how do you close sales? You want a lead, right? So how do you get a lead? So you should start with the lead objective, and there will be a few choices you have inside there, whether you drive people to your website, using lead form, using messages. So you got to be really clear about what you want them to do next. Now, another thing that I really want to highlight here, since we talk about objective, is there are still people who came to me and say that, Jason, I think the way we run business is we want to tell people about our existence first, then only we want them to take the next action. So I would say maybe we start with awareness first. Then, hopefully they see us enough, they will start buying. Okay, that's not how things work on social media. Okay, the best way for them to remember you is to get them to take an action. You get what I mean? Like the other day I met a restaurant owner, like super nice restaurant, created and say that, then when he wants to run ads, he came to me and said, Jason, I think I want to run awareness ads because I just want to tell people about this thing that exists and all that. and want to run it among the neighborhood, and hopefully they see us enough, they will come. Now, then I gave them another example. Why don't you just give them like a voucher giveaway where what they need to do is they need to message you, and then they will get a so-called voucher from you. But getting them to message you means you have in the future, okay, you can actually message them back about your latest promotion. So which one works better? Both strategy works. But then again, in order for us to have more control over our campaign, it's always recommended to get your audience to take a very specific action that you can actually have a way to reach them back in the future. Now, bringing them to a destination really works because we have this thing called retargeting, which I'll talk about it later on. So choosing an objective is a very important thing for you to actually really master and understand it and then actually kickstart. Because I want to quickly show you this chart over here. Let's say, you do all these detailed targeting, interest targeting, and you zoom into 100 people. Even you zoom into 100 people, 1,000 people, this 1,000 people, okay, they fall into different action categories, where Facebook groups us into groups or so-called categories according to what we do on Facebook. Like even we have a room of people here. Not everybody uses Facebook and Instagram the same way. Like I go to Facebook and Instagram, I actually don't really click on links, but certain people likes to click on links, but that's certain people do. But there will be a bunch of people who are into liking, like especially if you run ads to Taiwanese, you got to be really careful when you go for engagement, because to Taiwanese, liking is agreeing. What the hell? But yeah, liking may not bring you the result that you want. So you got to be really careful about what action you're trying to, that you're actually going to get or you're wanting to get. So this is how Facebook group us into. So let's say, for example, if you want to drive people to your website and you go for engagement, for example, which Facebook will actually, instead of zooming into the 350 people who are likely to click on links, they will actually zoom into the 550 people who are likely to comment and like. But those who likely to comment and like may not be, clicking on links often. So you got to really understand. That's why I want to spend a little bit of time here to really, dive deeper into this, because this is actually the most important pillar, if you ask me. If you get this wrong, however you do your audience, however you create your, like your creative and your copywriting, it's gonna flop. Okay, so yeah, and just want to quickly go through this. I need to bring this up now. Basically, I just want to quickly walk you through on how Facebook ads work. All right. So a lot of people would think that, oh, running ads, right? This is an ad. So once we run ad, then people would actually go to our landing page, and of course they will buy. So this is the ideal situation whereby this is a simple 3 steps of running an ad on Facebook, which is true, but there are some important, like truth behind it that you need to understand over here, which is like, in fact, according to Facebook data, okay, a person needs to see your ads about 2 to 3 times in 7 days to realize, not to take action, to realize that, oh, I have seen this thing. What's that? Why? Because when we appear in our audience's feed as an advertisement, we are actually being intrusive. Like when I come into Facebook and Instagram, what I'm expecting to see is what my friend posts, what my friends eat for lunch or dinner or stuff like that. That's what I'm there to consume. I'm not there to consume advertisement, but your advertisement appear anyway, because, well, that's part of the game. So I consume ads so that I can use Facebook for free. But then again, as an ad, it's an intrusive content. So most likely when I see it for the first time, I will ignore. I'll just scroll through. So you need to appear, unless your creative is damn good, of course, that's another story. But then again, usually people need to see your ads about 2 to 3 times within 7 days to kind of like, oh, I've seen this. Oh, what's that all about? Let's take a look at this. Okay, 2 to 7 days. 2 to 3 days, 2 to 3 times in 7 days. Then they will realize, and a bunch of them will click. And how many percent will click? The normal click-through rate for any campaign is 1%. So let's say you reach your audience 1,000 times, for example, only about 10 people will click. And you'll say, oh, now that's where I make business, right? Okay, now, another hardcore fact over here is, for those who click, 95%, over 95% will drop off for the first time. And they will not, 95% of these people will not take action in the first place. A few reasons. Just imagine, right? Okay, I run ads to you, for example, and finally you see my ads and you finally ready to take action. The moment you click, because most people are actually browsing ads on mobile, right? The moment you click, all right, and before you start, browsing the website or the landing page that I send you to, you know what? Your boss called, and your boyfriend texts. What will you do first? You'll respond to all these, or your kids yelling, oh my God. Okay, just go and, settle them first. But once you have settled whatever that distracts you, do you ever remember to go back to consume your advertisement? We don't do that, right? So here's the problem. Over 95% who dropped off does not mean they are not interested in your product. But my question to you here is, what do you do to remind them? You see, these people actually see your ads 2-3 times in 7 days and finally realize and read your copy and, hey, I like this, then click. This is really strong intent. But then when they go over, 95% of them drop off because of distractions, because they are not ready for that right now. They kind of like, okay, it's okay, wait for it. But what are you doing to remind these people? And these are high quality people. So that's where, a lot of Facebook advertisers kind of like, missed in, really growing their Facebook advertising so-called results. So up to now, I want to quickly show you a framework, this is what we call the two-step funnel framework. This is the framework that I've been using since 2016. And over the years now, it's now being deployed by thousands of Facebook advertisers around the world, including those bigger names out there. And I've trained thousands of people. And basically, this is a proven framework. It has been tested on almost, I would say almost, because I have not, touched all industries yet, but I've touched a lot of industries and it worked. For B2B alike, for B2C alike, for e-commerce, for lead gen, for whatnot, it worked. Okay, so I'm just going to share with you the two-step funnel framework. So fundamentally, a few key so-called element about, the two-step funnel framework. First thing first, the two-step funnel framework we will have at least 2 advertisements running simultaneously, 2, all right? So, and simultaneously, the keyword is they are running concurrently at the same time. So how does that work? All right. So let me walk you through the whole thing. So first thing first, we have this, we call this the tier 1 ad, or so-called the broad targeting ad, the co-audience targeting advertisement, whereby this is an advertisement that goes out to help you reach new people and bring them into your universe. Okay, so usually these advertisements are more introductory, whereby you want to really attract people with what have you got, and eventually you want them to take the first set of action, which is like either clicking or coming over and stuff like that, right? So when it comes to the tier 1 advertisement, okay, if you're running ads using the two-step funnel, I want to introduce you to a very important key concept, which is what we call the audience qualifier. Now, what is an audience qualifier? These are the definition, or so-called the actions that we capture to define if a person is interested in our product or services. So that's an audience qualifier. All right. So for this campaign, what are the audience qualifier? First thing first, for those who view your video up to 50%, that's a 12-second slideshow. All right. And for those who view up to 50%, 50, which is about 6 seconds down, I would define that as an intent or interest. Because if you don't like something, or if this is something that do not capture your attention, you will not spend that much time on a piece of content on Facebook or Instagram. And of course, if you click, that's one. And of course, if you buy, that's another thing, right? So whoever who have done these actions that we define as an audience qualifiers, first thing first, I want to introduce you to another new concept, for those who are not familiar, which is you need to learn how to exclude them from seeing the same ad again. Remember, this is a tier 1 ad. Now, what does tier 1 ad do? They're supposed to bring you new people. So once they brought you in new people, these new people are no longer new. And this is an ad that's supposed to be constantly going out and reach new people. So those who have taken action must not see the same ad again, so that we can free this ad to reach more new people. So the first thing you need to learn is how to exclude people from seeing the same ad again once they have taken action. That's a very important key, because that's how you save money, a lot of them, and that's how you make sure that your campaign can have a very healthy inflow of audience coming in. You know, not that you come to a point where you spend a lot and you're not getting results, you know. So that's the problem. Okay, so that's the first tier of advertisement. Of course, for those who have view and click, then we will send them, yet to purchase, then we will send them the other advertisement, which is, you know, it's supposed to be another ad whereby it goes more straightforward to what you want them to do. Like for this one, I know you look at my shoes, right? So what I want you to do here is like, I want you to take action right now. You can do what I did here. Give them a bloody code and say, hey, check out now. This is a code, you know. So, and this ad usually will only appear to those who have taken action, exclude those who have actually bought from you. So this is how we can actually, you know, really make sure that these people who have the intent, who have the interest in your product or services, can get reminded, okay, at the right time. And reminder is key. And you don't want to remind for too long. Another key thing that you need to learn about this is, yes, this is a retargeting campaign. But let me tell you some retargeting mistakes that people make. First, retargeting for too long. Like, let's say if you are retargeting people who visit your website, some people tend to go for because the longest for website is 180 days. And most people say, oh, let's go for the longest. Why? Because the longer I go, the more people they are. And, you know, the moment I keep running this, one day they will buy. Okay, now here's the thing. If you go for 180 days retargeting, let's say, I'm not saying this is right or wrong. I'm giving you some example for you to think. 180 days retargeting with the same ad, you know what does that mean? That means if I go to your website today and I don't buy, for the next 180 days, I'll be seeing your ad repeatedly. If you don't change the creative, that's the same thing that I'll be seeing. Now, let me ask you this question. Whatever it is, what are you selling that requires, your audience requires 6 bloody months to consider whether to buy from you or someone else? Whatever you sell. All right. So over retargeting is going to waste your money. Over retargeting is going to create ad fatigue. Over retargeting is not going to bring you any good. So when it comes to retargeting, we will go for the optimum duration, which is usually, we talk about that, is usually within about 7 days for e-commerce business. And if you're a coach, you probably can go up to maybe like 15 days, 14, 15 days. Anything longer than that, it's not relevant anymore, because if people want to buy from me, they buy from me already within the time frame or so-called the duration. If they don't, maybe they're not interested right now, let them go. We got to learn how to let people go in our campaign, just like T1 and T2 alike. So that's a very important key. So, but when you are able to build this thing up, so eventually this will become an evergreen campaign. So what is an evergreen campaign? Whereby the T1 ad is going to constantly bring you new people. All right. So, and qualify audiences based on what they do. So once they have watched your slideshow, click on your ad and purchase, they will not be seeing the Tier 1 ad again, at least for a duration that we set. And in turn, if they don't buy or have yet to buy, then they will start seeing the retargeting ad. And of course, once they actually purchase, they will not be seeing both of the advertisement. And even retargeting is for a specific duration. After that, we let them go. So when you have this framework up, this is what we call the evergreen campaign framework, whereby T1 ad, the Tier 1 ad will constantly bring in new people and nurtured by Tier 2, and it keep on pushing people out and bringing people in and push people up. So this is a campaign that you can actually run for long term. When I say long term, my longest running campaign using a 2-step funnel framework is a campaign that that runs for like, stop already, now no more. I think it run for about 21 months or more, almost 2 years, without changing creative, without changing audience targeting, and you can still get the optimum result that you want for that long. But of course now, maybe not that long, but just imagine, even 3 months or 6 months, how much time and energy you can save. Because how many of you actually spend too much time working on your ads? Too many people, because you constantly have this fear of, is it time for me to create new campaign or new creative? Is it time for me to change again? As long as it's working, why change? free all this time and start focusing on doing whatever that you're supposed to do to grow your business, right? So I'm just going to go in real quick to talk about how powerful is the two-step funnel framework. So, right. So basically, it doesn't require extra budget for this, yeah. So if you spend, let's start with $300 a month, stick to $300 a month. So basically, let's say if you spend $300 a month, okay, so I give you two scenarios to compare. Now, scenario one is you spend $300 a month, and let's say by spending $300, you can reach your audience about 100,000 times, okay? So you spend $300 a month and reach your audience about 100K times, and let's say you get 1% click-through rate as usual, which is you'll get about 100,000 clicks, and out of which, let's say you get 5% conversion, which is good, for your e-commerce business now. That means you'll get about 50 purchases, and let's say each purchase gives you $50 in revenue. That makes you $2,500 in revenue, right? So what do you do next? I mean, I'll spend all my money in this campaign because it's already proven working and I want to make more money. So this is what you do. But however, even for a, like a money-making campaign like this, there are still room for optimization. Now, that's when I will show you the scenario two, which is you are still spending $300 a day, a month, okay? But you split your budget according to 80-20 ratio. 80% goes to T1, the tier one, 20% goes to the tier two, the retargeting campaign. So $300, 80%, that's $240. Let's say you spend $240 a month to target your core audience. And, if we follow the same, like the scenario over here, you'll reach your audience about 80,000 times. You get 800 clicks and you get 5% conversion, for example, as usual, and you get 40 purchases at $50 each, and you make $2,000 in revenue. Now, on the surface, you might see that, hey, you make lesser money, but okay, wait, we still have $60, right? Now, before we go, who are we targeting with this $60? We are targeting the 800 who click minus the 40 who purchased. That's right. So I'm going to show you the power of 20%. So you're targeting 760 people, okay, with $60. You know what does that mean? That means you will be the brand that they will see everywhere they go on Facebook and Instagram and even other mobile apps. They go to Facebook 3 times a day, they see you 3 times. They go to Instagram multiple times, they probably will see you multiple times a day. They will see you everywhere within a period, of course. Let's say we go 7 days, only within the 7 days. But here's the thing, they have already shown interest recently, and you actually come back to them within the optimum duration, whereby the period whereby they are still fresh about you, and you tell them more about you. You run ads to actually with the stronger call to action. A few things that will happen. First thing first, these people will think that, well, this brand not bad, can spend this kind of money, must be good. Second thing is, okay, well, yeah, I will look at this thing before, so let's click on it. So if you do that, if this happened to your brand, do you think it's too much to ask for another 10% conversion? So what does that mean? Another 10%, if you do it right, and you actually, optimize the exposure and you make them take action, that means another 76 orders. And let's say if you make $50 per order, that means another $3,008 in revenue. So let's compare 2 scenarios. Scenario 1, you spend 300, you get 2,005. Scenario 2, you spend the bloody same 300, you get 5,008 in revenue. So which one you want? The choice is yours. The retargeting is the key. The exclusion is the key. That's why in order to actually achieve this kind of evergreen campaign concept, first, you need to learn how to exclude people strategically. Second, you need to learn how to optimize your retargeting campaign. Okay. And the third one, of course, you need to learn how to analyze and optimize continuously. You need to be able to read the right data to help you decide whether your campaign is performing or not. And how do you actually make the right action, the right decision to tweak, to actually make it work better for your business. You need to know what's going right or wrong in your campaign. So in case you want to learn this technique, in case I have convinced you to see Facebook ads in a different way, okay, I want to introduce you to the Winning Facebook Ads Academy. So this is my signature Facebook advertising program. And this is about, we have 7 modules in it, and you got lifetime access to this thing. So basically it covers everything you need to know about creating a winning Facebook ads campaign. So normal price for this thing is $197. Okay, but then again, let me walk you through about what's in it. Now, the first module is what we call the art of objective selection. Like I mentioned just now, choosing the wrong objective is going to kill your campaign, hands down. So you got to learn about each and every one of the objectives and which one is more suitable for you and which one you must not touch at all costs. So that's the first module. And second module is about the audience targeting strategies. Now, there are about 5 to 6 audience targeting strategies that I've been using, for the past many years, and I will share with you how to use them for your business. Okay. And the third one is about the ads manager. Like I said, a lot of people will find the ads manager confusing, crazy, complex, like a maze. And this module is going to walk you through how to use, the ads manager in a more optimum way. I'm going to share with you the usage of each buttons, features, what you should touch, what you should avoid, and stuff like that. And module 4 is where we talk about the next most important thing about Facebook advertising, which is the custom audiences. Now that would set you up to learn and master how to exclude and how to retarget in a very, very successful way. Okay, so that's module 4, and module 5 is about the ad. We call this the anatomy of the winning ad. So this is where we talk about how do we create, in terms of copywriting and the design. Okay, so this is how we would actually, I will share with you how to do this right. And module 6 is where we talk about, how do we apply the 2-step funnel. So I have not 1, not 2, but 3 detailed walkthrough modules in there that teaches you how to set up 2-step funnel for, let's say, if you run a Shopee or Lazada store or any e-commerce marketplace, or even if you're an affiliate. And then let's say if you're running lead gen, let's say if you're an e-com business, all of them, we have a module to walk you through how to set up, like, how to create campaign, how to set up audience, how to do all this, right? So when module 7, okay, it's about how do we analyze the numbers? How do we, read the data correctly, and how do we analyze? So this is actually the 7 modules, altogether about 7 hours, and you have lifetime access to it. You can actually access to this anytime you want, anywhere you want. And basically, yeah. And it will be updated from time to time whenever there are changes to Facebook advertising and Instagram advertising, because they share the same back end. And yeah, this is what we have over here. But then again, how can you actually get this at a better value, right? So I'll just hand this over to Glenn to share with you about, what's in store for you guys. Glenn.
Yeah, cool, Jason.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. So guys, I really hope that you guys have got value in terms of this morning's technical rundown. I know it can be quite technical at times, but that's the problem, right? With Facebook, you need to know the numbers. You really need to be a mathematician sometimes. That's why you can't do it on your own. So I'm just going to quickly share and continue where Jason kind of left off in terms of the full-blown Facebook ads training course. I initially want to call this FAT, Facebook ads training, right? But this is the whole program that includes Jason's 7+3 modules. Actually, Jason, you there is a +3 also, right? You gave some mini modules. These are value-added modules, sub-modules, especially for those who are running e-commerce. Yeah, like Shopee, Lazada, stuff like that. But anyway, the 7 itself are the core modules, and it includes Jason's personal time in terms of his personal coaching, which includes, again, a whole full-blown analytics and an audit of your ads, supposing you're already going to run this in a couple of weeks' time after learning the modules. Plus, there will be a group coaching 4 times. Now, all of these will add up to maybe 2 months, 1.5 months. It really depends on how fast or how hungry you want to grow this, especially if you're running a business or a project that requires advertising. It requires you bringing in more leads. You need to generate more eyeballs, and also maybe even sales. That means you want to convert them through the pipeline towards the end goal. I will also be giving other bonuses like business networking platforms, because all these will be natural and almost organic platforms where you can generate more leads. Ebooks, e-articles, and Jason and myself actually behind all this, we have many other, we have a whole library of other modules and coaching training, video trainings on demand. In other words, you can just click them. We will send them to you, the links, and they are all hidden, by the way. So only those of us who are in the back end, in the what we call the inner circle, will get this. And selected marketing templates. Some of you really need templates. Jason was already sharing with you 2 or 3 different types, so you can just go in, plug and play. Do not learn those things by yourself, especially if you're not into the creative, the design, the graphic design and stuff like that. You can just borrow, plug and play. Canva, wireframes, and different playbooks. So all these add together. Earlier on, Jason was talking about his 7 training modules, $197. His personal coaching time alone is worth much more than $197, but he offers this as a piggyback to this whole program that we're crafting together. By the way, this is the first time we are pioneering this, and therefore we're looking for, fast movers and those of you who are coming in with to our pioneering batch. And then a 4 group coaching come training is about 1 hour plus over Zoom, just like this. This will happen once you come in. We will select the dates. We will find out the most suitable dates that we can run this either on a fortnightly, because that gives you ample time for you to learn, create, and then come in for the coaching over 4 weeks or 4 sessions. It could be fortnight, it could be weekly. So all of this adds up to a total value of $1,184. Now, I'm just going to give me 1 minute, and I'm going to just wrap this up. I'm going to send you the link. I want to tell you that even for myself, in the past 6 years, just trying to learn and gamify, or at least be on top of my game with digital marketing, and Facebook being the most fundamental. Sure, you can have SEO, Instagram, now even TikTok, YouTube, which is a new SEO, and Jason will be he's the guru on all this. Once you enter this inner circle, you'll be able to access all these other platforms as well. But we always start off with Facebook. That is the fundamental. It's still the go-to in terms of marketing. And also, Jason just mentioned earlier on, now is the best time to actually start getting on board this, start reaping in the leads so that you can grow your lead database. Now, what's the best learning program that will get you the greatest results? For me, 6 years running over the place, finding different courseware. And I tell you, something like this, right, as already proven by Jason, can be overly technical, especially if you're not a techie like me. I'm not a techie. I'm more of an arty person, right? You give me language, persuasive writing, copy, those kind of things, I can do very well in that. So do it yourself kind of programs where I show you a bunch of videos, it's not going to cut it. You're going to be left very jaded, and then you're going to have a negative belief system saying that, hey, this is not for me, it's for the engineers. And that's not true. Then you may have, you start going into this whole, okay, done for you program. Just go to someone, an agency, and say, hey, can you just run my ads for me? I don't want to know what happens in the back end. You just run for me. As a business owner, you can't do that. You really need to be on top of things. What if your agent, or what if your marketing and digital marketeer does something wrong, and then you start bleeding money, and then you say, oh, it's like that, Lord, it's like that, and you have no clue, right, how to even evaluate. So your done for you is also not the way to go. In this day and age, you need a program called Do It With You. And so I and Jason, we are committed to do it with you, to walk with you this journey. As mentioned, Jason has his 7+3 video training modules, which he outlined very clearly. In the last 1 hour that he tried to explain all these at the surface, he will dive deep into each one of these, and you can replay these online video training modules. And not only that, there will be a personal coaching with him personally. Of course, I'll be in the picture as well. One-on-one Facebook ads audit. I mean, he really scrutinizes. I mean, he does that with us, right, every month, Jason. And thank you for all your hard, you're really hard on us, because that is accountability, guys. We don't want you to bleed money. And then you have your 4 group coaching. This is real hand holding, because we all understand, especially at the start, where you want to kickstart this whole campaigning, you need that journey to work with. So guys, we are launching this, and we are launching this at a pioneering stage. You guys will come in, and it will be only for 2022, because once this kicks off well, it will be a proper unit itself, a product unit, a product line. So it will be US $274. Those of you who are in Singapore, it converts to Sing 390 Sing. So this is the link by which you can find out more details. You go to our form, read up a bit more. You can click very quickly. You can scan this as well. Those of you who are watching the replay, I'll just show you exactly what you'll see when you go into the back end of this form here. First and foremost, you're going to see Facebook ads training course, right? And then all the components which I shared earlier on will be there. We'll explain it really clearly to you, and all you need to do is just click this. All it takes is just 1 minute or less. And once you click submit, we will call you. You don't call us, we call you. Okay? Yeah. So can we have that link? Okay, the link is already sent into there. I think we do have some time, maybe just less than 5 minutes for Q&A. Some of you were already asking questions earlier on inside, and Jason is here. We've asked for the next few minutes. Maybe we can pick up some questions from you guys. Do use the chat box. Okay, I missed a couple as well. Okay, I think Terry did ask, how about Instagram digital marketing, Jason?
Yeah, it's part of it. I mean, am I muted? Yeah, I think you can hear me, right? So yeah, I guess Facebook advertising and Instagram advertising shares the same backend. And in fact, when you're running ads on Facebook or Meta per se, you're also running ads on other mobile apps that actually serves Facebook ads, which is like, some games out there, they are free to play, and in between, there are some ads in between, right? That could be Facebook ads. So yes, short answer is, yeah, you get Facebook, Instagram advertising. So in fact, when it comes to the design and creative copywriting, it's actually very similar, because the size and the layout and everything on both platforms are very similar. But fundamentally, they share the same backend. So you learn both things together. So when it comes to advertising, I just want to specific again. I mean, Terry, yeah, it's advertising. So I'm a believer of spending money to get results. But the key here is, how do we spend, correctly, to get us the optimum result. That's what I specialize in.
Yep, hope that answers you, Terry. If it does, do just respond or react in the chat box. There's another question earlier on by 𝗙𝗟𝗓.
Okay.
Is this accessible to all accounts, or do you have to set up something special to get there? I'll repaste it in the chat box. Yeah?
I think it's 1023. Back then, I think I was talking about a business manager, business suite, and stuff like that. Yeah, it's accessible by everyone. Everybody with a Facebook profile or account can have access to all this. It's free, because this is how they make money from us, right? Of course. Yeah.
Yep. Okay. Any other questions, guys? Yeah, thanks, 𝗙𝗟𝗓. Yeah, thanks for coming in.
Thank you.
Okay, so once again, we're going to pump in that offer. It's a promo offer just for this year. We are rounding up and rallying up the pioneering group. So I'm looking at about, say, 5 to begin this, 5, 6. We will have an inner mastermind group. Jason will, of course, be featured every now and then. I will call on him. He is, so there are double layer coaches, not only me and my team at Digitech, but also Jason, whom we consult whenever we hit a roadblock. Whenever we are stuck, we'll always ask him, because he's like right there in the meta business world. But for us, for those of you who are starting out, learn from us, because I've been running ads. There is an inner team here as well, my mastermind group, who's here present. There are a couple of us later on. After this ends in a couple of minutes, we'll stay behind. I'll show you my back end. We've been running this to a very, very profitable outcome. At least triple the leads, especially during the pandemic, because everybody went online, right? And now with the post-pandemic, I think what we're seeing as a trend and in consumer behavior is not too far off, but there is such a thing as a new norm behavior, new norm or post-pandemic behavior. Seasons as well, we are coming to November, 11/11, 12/12, things like that. So we want to be careful with how I spend. I always tell this to my mastermind group: don't just anyhow spend like that without understanding your metrics and also analyzing your ROI, because otherwise then you'll be gambling. And we have been spending and paying the price, bleeding, that kind of ad spend. So now we know things. What I like about Jason's stuff, and I just want to sell Koyo again. What I like about that is the two-step funnel, because it's not just the one, just chiong and drive through as a campaign, but the two-step funnel. Retargeting is everything these days. And we have done that to great success. Okay. So with that, if there's no more other questions, we are going to kind of close this. I'm going to end the recording.